CIET NCERT presents the audiobook Kaushal Bodh, textbook of vocational education activity book for grade 6.
Page 103, Part 3, Work in Human Services. Page 104. Human services are about serving people and interacting with them in different ways. Projects on work in human services will help you learn how to work with people. You can take up projects relating to taking care of your health and that of your family and others. You can make interesting videos and audio clips on various topics such as making a budget for your family, applying mehndi on people's hands, or developing a comic book. It is up to you to imagine all that you can do with your peers. 2 examples of projects are given in this section. You must take up only one project. You can either choose one of the projects or you can design a project of your own choice with the help of your teacher. Page 105. Project 5. School Museum. This project will help you learn about museums and how you will create your own museum by collecting and describing artifacts. As part of the project, you will be able to learn about museums and artifacts, visit a real museum or take a tour of virtual museum, learn your own history, identify artifacts and prepare presentations, organize an exhibition of artifacts, take feedback from visitors. Figure 5.1. Setting up a school museum. In this page, there is an image of school students who are setting up a school museum using different artifacts and objects. Page 106. You have learnt about many sources for understanding history and culture in social science. Among these sources are artifacts, objects made by humans that are old, unique and beautiful and related to our traditions and culture. These artifacts can be ancient or a part of our lives and societies in the present. A museum is a place in which artifacts are kept. Museums help us understand our history and culture. They show us what ancient people wore, what kind of work they did, what kind of artwork they created, example paintings and sculptures, and what they wrote, manuscripts. Museums help us build the past in our minds and see things which we may never be able to otherwise. Museums also help us learn about the present culture and work of different groups of people in the country and the world. They display artifacts related to art, traditions, architecture and science. For example, the National Science Centre or museums spread across India help us learn about things that no longer exist, such as dinosaurs, and also about things that we can expect in the future. There are even some curious objects that defy what we think or we know, like a 1200 kilogram granite ball that spins on water at the National Science Centre in Delhi. Figure 5.2. The Tribal Museum of Madhya Pradesh in Bhopal has displays of traditional art, craft and culture of various tribes. In this page, there are images of the Tribal Museum of Madhya Pradesh in which there are things related to art, craft and culture of various tribes. Page 107. While science museums primarily focus on concepts related to science, museums in general display a variety of things, including traditional textiles and the style of wearing them. In some museums, even animals are preserved and exhibited. Do you have traditional things in your house things which can be displayed in museum? Look around and bring them into the classroom. If you cannot bring these artifacts into the classroom, take their photographs or drawings and these could be a part of your museum. Figure 5.3. Open air museum at the Kisama Heritage Village with houses of different tribes in Nagaland, each with its unique design. In this page, there is an image of an open-air museum at the Kisama Heritage Village, which has houses of different tribes in Nagaland. What will I be able to do? At the end of the project, you will be able to 1. Describe how museums preserve history and traditions. 2. Identify artifacts that are of interest to you and your peers. 3. Create a school museum with your peers. And 4. Present the history of artifacts using different forms of the presentation. What will I need? Locally collected artifacts that are old, beautiful or important to your family, and or photographs of these artifacts. Storage containers and display boxes. Cleaning brush and cloth. Chart paper or cards for making labels. Page 108. Markers, sketch pens, drawing pencils, colored pens and scissors. Equipment and materials for presentation, computer and projector. How do I keep myself and others safe? Point 1. Our heritage is the source of our pride and honor. It is our duty to preserve it. Take care of the artifacts and they should be handled with care to avoid any damage. Point 2. During a visit to a museum, avoid direct contact with the artifacts as they might be made of sensitive material. Please follow all instructions on the signboards at the museum. You have learned about the Sindhu-Saraswati civilization in social science. You have also read about Dholavira, figure 4.4. Locate Dholavira on the map of India. Archaeological sites are places where evidence of ancient human societies are preserved. These sites are excavated by archaeologists. They carefully dig up these sites and analyze the artifacts and other remains that are uncovered. These artifacts help us to understand the kind of societies that existed many years ago at these sites. The objects discovered during excavation are kept in a museum located near the site. Figure 5.4. Sentinel Room in Eastern Gate Castle, Dholavira. In this page, there is an image of an ancient brick structure which is the Sentinel Room in Eastern Gate of Castle, Dholavira excavation site. What do I need to know before I start? Look around your home and neighborhood. List the names of at least 5 artifacts that you find interesting because they are old or special to you and your family. Examples include old coins, telephones, vessels, stamps, wood carving, furniture, stone carving, shilalekh, which are inscriptions, that is writing or engraving, carved on stone or walls of caves or buildings. Ancient manuscripts, religious manuscripts, statues, radio, gramophone, camera, spectacles, sticks, ancient books, traditional clothes and so on. Activity 1. Visiting a museum. Visiting a museum will help you with setting up the school museum. In case you are not able to visit a museum yourself, you can ask your friends and others if they have visited a museum and what they saw during their visit, or you can also visit the website of a museum and see the exhibits there. Take note of their descriptions. Some museums have virtual exhibitions. Virtual Museum Tour. You can take a virtual tour of the museums in India on the website of the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. You can use the search keywords such as the Ministry of Culture plus virtual museums. Figure 5.5 shows the screen grab of website maintained by the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. Use Google Lens or a similar optical character recognition OCR tool to search for more information on the collections of the museum. Share your learnings on how Google Lens assisted through the tour. In this page, there is an image of the screen grab of the website maintained by the Ministry of Culture showing the buildings of various museums across the country. Internet safety. Ask your teacher for help while using the internet. Be careful. Do not upload or download anything, and also do not share personal information anywhere. Page 110. While visiting museum, understand the layout of the museum and key exhibits. Take your time to explore the museum, observe the exhibits, read information panels and check if there are any interactive activities. Example, lighting up parts of the exhibits, moving some parts, a quiz you can take, etc. If possible, discuss your observations with an expert. It could be the person who selects and looks after the artifacts in the museum, the curator or a local historian, and ask any questions you have. Based on the above, please respond to the following questions. 1. What was the most interesting exhibit you saw in the museum? Write your answer in the given space. 2. Why did you find it interesting? Write your answer in the given blank space. 3. Describe any one exhibit that has significance in our lives even today. Write your answer in the given blank space. Activity 2. Learn the history of your family and area. To begin, it is important to learn more about the place you live in and the association of your family with it. The questions below will help you with this. Point 1. Did your village, town or city ever have different name? Write your answer in the given blank space. Page 111. 2. Do you know when was it founded or established? If yes, write the year. Write your answer in the given blank space. Point 3. Where did your family originally come from? Write your answer in the given blank space. Point 4. Do you have any family traditions or customs that have been passed down through generations? Write your answer in the given blank space. Point 5. Are there any local stories or traditions related to the village, town or city? Example, any story about the area, any connection with history, any time of the year when many people come to visit, etc. Write about the story or the tradition related to your village, town or city. Write your answer in the given blank space. 6. Are there historical movements or landmarks or buildings in your village, city or town? If yes, write a short note about any one of them. Write your answer in the given blank space. Page 112. 7. Is there any old institution or monument that you have visited? If yes, what is it famous for? Write your answer in the given blank space. Point 8. What are the oldest artifacts in your house? Write their names here. Write your answer in the given blank space. Activity 3. Identify artifacts and learn about them. Identify at least 5 artifacts in your home and write about them in the table 5.1. Table 5.1. Writing about the artifacts. In this table, you have to write the different aspects about the artifact like what is the artifact, who is the owner, how old is it. Will you bring it to the class or will you bring a photograph? You can write about various artifacts in the different rows given. Page 113. Note, if you plan to bring photographs into the classroom, make sure you take it from different angles so that anyone looking at the photographs can see the artifact as if it was in front of them. Using Google Lens. You can use AI tools like Google Lens to explore information about artifacts as well as monuments or landmarks by simply pointing the smartphone's camera at them. Google Lens can also provide information about artworks, historical artifacts, and famous landmarks, allowing us to learn more about our art and culture. There are many other apps related to the virtual tours of museum or for gaining knowledge about old stamps and coins. Choose one of the artifacts selected for exhibition in the museum. Create a timeline showing its history and evolution, including when it was commonly used and if still in use, how it is being used. You can also record any significant events related to it. For example, some relative brought it as a gift on the occasion of your grandparents' marriage, and it was the first of its kind in the village. For example, an old radio or camera. Figure 5.6. Old brass bells. In this page, there is an image of old brass bells. Activity 4. Selecting artifacts for the museum. Within the group, select 5 artifacts that you think should be part of the exhibition in the museum. You will have to decide on the final set of exhibits with all your peers. Remember, you must choose carefully and also explain why you choose these artifacts and not the others. Figure 5.7. Old travelling iron from the 1950s that worked on electricity. In this page, there is an image of an old and rusted iron from the decade of the 1950s which worked on electricity. Page 114. Figure 5.8. Old railway lanterns. Figure 5.9. Mobile phone from the year 1998. In this page, there is an image of 2 old and rusted railway lanterns. There is another image of an old model of a mobile phone from the year 1998. All the artifacts are important, and even if you are all the artifacts are important, and even if your artifact is not included in the final exhibition, you learned something valuable about local history and culture. The following questions will help you finalize the artifacts. 1. How will you select the final 5 artifacts for the exhibition? What factors will you keep in mind while choosing the artifact? Write your answer in the given blank space. Figure 5.10. Camera, flash and lenses from the early 1960s. Figure 5.11. Brass sieve from the 1940s. In this page, there is an image of old cameras, flash and lenses from the early 1960s. Also, there is an image of an old brass sieve from the 1940s. Page 115. Reading or translating old documents. AI tools such as Google Lens, Microsoft Office Lens, Adobe Scan and Text Fairy can read text from images by using optical character recognition (OCR). You can use them to read old documents that are difficult to read or to translate documents in a language that you understand. Figure 5.12. AI tools used for translation. In this page, there is an image in which old text is being translated using an AI tool on a smartphone. This will help in case you want to add old documents to the artifacts in the museum. 1. Download and open the Google app on the smartphone. 2. Locate the Google Lens icon in the search bar and tap on it. This activates Google Lens. 3. Point your camera at the text you want to read. Ensure the text is clear and within focus for better results. Use the highlighters that appear to select the desired portion of text. 4. Depending on your desired action. Point 1. To read, Google Lens will automatically attempt to recognize the text and display it on your screen, making it easier to read, especially for small fonts or challenging angles. Point 2. To copy. Look for the homework option. Tap on it and you will see options like copy text or copy to computer. Tap on copy to copy the text to your clipboard. You can then paste it onto another app like Notes or Documents. Point 3. To translate. Look for the translate option at the bottom of the screen. Tap on it and choose the desired language you want to translate the text. The lens will display the translated text alongside the original. Page 116. Draw a picture or paste a photograph of each object you have selected and write a short description of its history and/or usage in Table 5.2. Table 5.2. Recording details of identified artifacts. Draw or paste a photograph of the old artifacts you have and write about its history and usage. Also write whether it is still being used in yes or no. Write all these details about your artifact in the rows Object 1, Object 2, Object 3, Object 4 and Object 5. Page 117. Activity 5. Keeping the artifact safe. Figure 5.13. Telegram and stamps from the 1960s. In this page, there are images of old telegram from the Western Union telegram and also various stamps from the 1960s. For example, a brass article needs to be washed and polished, a wooden object needs to be dusted with a soft brush, and clothes should be hung carefully, away from any nails or sharp edges. Photographs should be carefully kept in envelopes, ensuring they do not get bent or out of shape. Figure 5.14. Brass pot for making tea. Samovar from Kashmir. In this page, there is an image of a brass pot for making tea from Kashmir. Select any two artifacts and respond to the following question. 1. What will you do to ensure the artifacts are safe and in good condition? Write your answer in the given blank space. Activity 6. Preparing presentation on artifacts. There is a story behind each artifact, and you need to present it to each visitor to the museum. You can do this in many ways. You can find a folk story about the artifact or develop a story. You can make videos, especially for objects you cannot bring to school, an interview with someone talking about the history of the object. Create a slide presentation, write a blog or Wikipedia article, or use a chart and colored pens to make posters describing the artifact. Figure 5.15. An old handmade fan, pankha, made of recycled wool and cloth that was used before electricity reached all homes. In this page, there is an image of an old handmade fan or pankha which is made using wool and old cloth. Page 118. Think and respond to the following questions. 1. What kind of presentation will you make? Example, digital slide presentation, poster, video, etc. Write your answer in the given blank space. 2. Why did you choose this or these kind of presentations? Write your answer in the given blank space. 3. What are the specifications of your presentation? Example, size of poster, duration of video, etc. Write your answer in the given blank space. Practice giving an oral description of the artifact in your group before showcasing it to visitors. Figure 5.16. A museum display in a school showing history of educational toys. In this page, there is an image of a school museum showing history of educational toys. There are different toys in the museum. Page 119. Translating your own presentation. There are various AI tools, example, Bhashini's Anuvad and Google Translate, that can be used to prepare audio presentations in other languages. Bhashini Anuvad is a set of AI tools that can translate spoken words from one language to another. It helps with translation, transcription and transliteration in Indian languages. It enables users to communicate, access information and create content in their preferred Indian language. Google Translate. Google Translate is a tool that instantly translates words, phrases and web pages from English to over 100 other languages. Bhashini Anuvad. Step 1. Access Bhashini. Open a web browser on your computer or tablet. Type Bhashini in the search bar and press enter. Click on the Bhashini website link to access the tool. Step 2. Choose your languages. Look for a section that lets you select language. Bhashini can translate many languages, so choose the one you want to speak and the one you want to translate to. Step 3. Input your text. Find a space where you can type or speak your sentence. Step 3. Input your text. Find a space where you can type or speak your sentence. If you are more comfortable typing, use the keyboard. If you want to speak, make sure your device has a microphone and look for the microphone icon. Bhashini. Step 4. Translate and listen. Once you have entered your text, click the Translate button. If you are using voice input, wait for Bhashini to process your spoken words. Step 4. Translate and listen. Bhashini will then show you the translated text on the screen. You can also listen to the translated version by clicking a speaker icon if available. Step 5. Experiment and explore. Do not be afraid to try different sentences and languages. Experiment with Bhashini to see how it works in various situations. Explore different features available, like changing the language direction or adjusting settings. Page 120. Google Translate. Step 1. Access Google Translate. Open a web browser in your computer or tablet. Type Google Translate in the search bar and press Enter. Click on the Google Translate website link to access the tool. Step 2. Choose your languages. Similar to Bhashini, select the language you want to translate from and the language you want to translate to. Step 3. Input your text. Type or speak the sentence you want to translate. Google Translate has a microphone icon for voice input. Google Translate. Step 4. Translate and listen. Click the Translate button to see the translated text. You can also listen to the translation by clicking on a speaker icon. Step 5. Explore additional features. Google Translate offers additional features like conversation mode, which allows you to have a back and forth translated conversation. Step 6. Practice and have fun. Practice translating sentences and have fun discovering how these tools can open up a world of languages. Activity 7. Organizing an exhibition of artifacts. Figure 5.17. Display of collected artifacts. In this page, there is an image of an exhibition displaying collected artifacts, like a typewriter and old utensils. Page 121. 1. You can organize an exhibition of artifacts in your school with your peers under the teacher's guidance. Decide on a suitable date and location within the school premises. Ensure the space is large enough to accommodate exhibits and visitors. 2. Work with your peers to take responsibility of 5 artifacts for the museum. Discuss and finalize a brief description of each of the artifacts. Write the final descriptions neatly on labels. Discuss how these labels will be placed, whether on display boards or pasted on charts next to the artifacts. Table 5.3. 3. Set up tables, stands and display boards. Ensure artifacts are securely displayed and labeled. 4. Create posters, flyers and social media posts to promote the exhibition. 5. Send out invitations to parents, family, friends, school staff and community members. Invite your friends and family. 6. Organize the exhibition of artifacts as decided and collect feedback from visitors, students and teachers to understand what went well and what could be improved. Table 5.3. Labels to describe objects briefly. In this table, you can write the names of different objects and their description on label. Write the description in the rows Object 1, Object 2, Object 3, Object 4, Object 5. Page 122. Draw a sketch in the given space to show the layout of how the artifacts will be exhibited. Keep a visitor's book for feedback and comments related to your presentation about the artifacts on display and any feedback. What did I learn from others? If you were able to visit a museum, then 1. Find out how artifacts in museums are stored and cared for. Write down these methods in the given space A, B and C. Learning from experts. If you have invited someone who can answer your questions, example someone who works in a museum, a historian or an archaeologist, to discuss historical artifacts with your class, then write at least 3 things that you learned. Listen to a talk show or short documentary on artifacts and how they help us understand the lives of people in ancient times. Page 123. Write at least 3 things that you learned. Write in the given blank space 1, 2 and 3. Learning from visitors. Write down any 3 examples of feedback from visitors. Write down the feedback in the given space 1, 2 and 3. What did you learn from this feedback? Write your answer in the given blank space. What did I do and how long did it take? It is important to understand how much time is required for an activity to be completed. In the given timeline, write the time taken in terms of periods of the different activities you performed. Calculate the approximate number of periods you spent on each activity. Mark them on the timeline. If you did more than the activities suggested in the book, please add the number and time taken. Page 124. What else can I do? Discuss the project with your relatives from different cities. Ask them to share or tell about some of the museum-worthy artifacts in their home or locality. Display them by either bringing the object or photograph to your class. Think and answer. 1. What did you enjoy doing? 2. What were the challenges you faced? 3. What would you like to do differently? 4. How do museums help us in learning about our heritage and history? 5. What jobs are related to the project? Look around, speak to people and write your answer. A few examples of jobs related to the work you just did are archaeologist, historian, museum curator and tour guide. Chapter ends.
You were just listening to this audio book, Textbook of Vocational Education for Grade 6. Narration, Farhan Ali Naqvi. Sound recordist, Virendra Rawat. Assistance in production, Amarjit Sarkar. Directed and produced by Vimalesh Chaudhary. This audiobook is brought to you by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.